talked a lot about this company on the show. Shein's London IPO could happen as soon as this week. The highly anticipated move values the company at about $64 billion, according to Bloomberg, which does cite anonymous sources in that report. It'd make the online fashion giant one of the biggest IPOs ever filed in the UK. And Dave, at the start of this year, the conversation was that Shein might go public in the United States. But in about mid to late January, that had switched. There are concerns about specifically its use of labor in creating some of these very cheap online clothing products.
Do you use Shein?
I don't use Shein, but if I do a Google search, if I'm looking for a certain item and I do a Google search,
Pop up?
it always pops up, and it always seems too good to be true because it's $18 and the comparable,
Yeah.
right, exactly, and the comparable item is $60 or more.
I have a 12-year-old at home who uses it like social media, probably more so than social media, because your point, filled with items under $10. She'll have a $70 basket that has 12 or 13 items in it, which is astounding. But back to the concerns of the U.S. They tried to join the National Retail Federation. According to reports, were denied for several reasons. One is what you mentioned, forced labor concerns there in China. But the other one is Marco Rubio and other U.S. officials have raised national security concerns about Shein's connection to the Chinese Communist government. So very little chance that they were ever going to get that IPO here. Why London? They are desperate for some IPOs. They had their worst year for IPOs in decades last year, reportedly raised only $1 billion. So this, for a company worth north of $60 billion, probably, given the ethical concerns, still probably a no-brainer for a market that is really struggling.
I think it's important to note, too, most discretionary companies out there are not performing well right now. And we've interviewed markets guests who have said this discretionary sector doesn't look great right now, might be one of the first to actually weaken. And we've seen that in some of the earnings results that we've been covering here.
Yeah, right.
But notably, amid inflation, an $18, $5, $10 item, that is attractive. And so we'll see how the stock actually trades when it opens.
$8 t-shirt, man, sign
Not
me up.
bad.